I'm looking a little, as my roommate would say, turfed. Honestly, I didn't really prepare for this video. I didn't do my hair. All I did is pin my bangs back. Like, nothing is going on today. This is like a shirt I slept in, so we're just looking real fire today. But I really was compelled to do this video for this week's No Makeup Monday, which, by the way, sorry, it's been a few weeks. Midterms and moving combined were just so hectic. I just could not film this last week, so yeah. No more excuses though. We're getting back on track. I only have 1 month left until I'm done with school, and by done with school, I mean I'm graduating. So anyway, that's not the point of this video. I was really compelled to do this video. It kind of came to me spur of the moment when I was presenting on this last Wednesday. We had a presentation, which, you know, if you've ever been in school, that's a thing that happens, especially in college. So this video is going to be the least helpful video probably. Maybe it's helpful in its own way, but I'm just so tired of seeing so many inspirational public speaking videos, and granted, they help in their own way, but let me just say, when you're up there in the moment, nothing you do is going to help. If you truly are like that terrified of public speaking, self-talk is not gonna work, all this other advice, it's just not gonna work. Thinking about people in their underwear, it just won't work. But I do have some tips. Like, I don't wanna just make this video a complaining video of how much I hate public speaking, but I wanted to give you guys some tips that I found work in their own way, and they only really work leading up to the presentation. They don't work during. Let me give some backstory. In high school, I was the most shy person. YouTube is what really brought me out of my shell and made me more confident, surprisingly, even with hate and stuff. I mean, I didn't get a lot of hate, especially starting off, but I started YouTube when I was 19 years old, and it really helped me build my confidence, and I thank YouTube so much for that. It kind of helped me find my identity and who I was and find my voice. But before that, I was so shy. I did not speak to anyone. Like, I had a handful of friends who I'm still friends with today. But I purposefully, it was my junior year, I believe. I took summer school every summer in high school. I barely graduated. And my junior year of high school, there was a presentation that we had to do, and I refused to do it. And I told my teacher, I'm not going to do that. I cannot speak in front of the class. And she said, well, you know what that means, that you have to go to summer school if you choose not to do this, and you're choosing to fail this class on purpose because you won't do the presentation. And I was like, yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. I had like a B in the class. Like, I wasn't even doing that bad. I would have rather gone to summer school for 2 months than speak in front of a group of people. So it was great. That was a great plan. You can't avoid that in college though. You have to actually take a whole class on public speaking, which might cheat to that. Do the group one if it's available. It's like intro to communications, and you have to do like multiple presentations. I did the group one because regardless, group presentations tend to be easier than solo ones. And that's what sparked this video. Was this last Wednesday, I was like, I felt confident. I wasn't really nervous prior to, like, I slept okay the night before, which is rare. So maybe in a way it is getting better in my life, but I still like bombed it in my opinion. I didn't do well. My voice was shaking. My jokes didn't land, the ones I had prepared. And I had rehearsed so many times that it sounded like a script. And so I think people tuned out because it wasn't conversational. And it was actually really funny because one of my group members was like, oh, the other girl said that you were really good at public speaking. And I was like, what? I was like, I hate public speaking. She's like, well, don't you do that for like a living? And I get that comment all the time. Well, you do YouTube videos. You can't be that afraid of public speaking. Do you know what I'm looking at right now? A window, a camera, a computer. There ain't no people in here. Anyway, I'm just tired of people saying, it gets easier the more you do it. I call bullshit on that. Honestly, I've done it for years and years. I've been in college for almost 10 years, I know. And I don't want to be discouraging to those people who do believe it gets better or hope that it gets better, because I don't want to be like, it doesn't. Because maybe it will for some people, maybe it has. I mean, for me, the anxiety leading up to the presentation has definitely gotten a lot easier, but I still am the same person in front of people. I'm the same I make the same mistakes. My number one issue when I'm presenting is I forget to breathe. I actually do this a lot in YouTube videos too, and especially when I was first starting out, so many people were like, why do you sound so out of breath? And I do that. I forget to breathe, and it's not that I forget to breathe in, I forget to breathe out. So I do like these weird sighs. So I think what I'm saying here, and I said this video is not very inspirational, but I want it to be a little helpful, is that it's okay to completely hate it your whole life, to never develop those skills to speak in front of people. I think there are just some people who are great at it and some people who get better at it, and then there are those who just have so much anxiety about it that no matter what they do, self-talk, preparation, that they'll always be nervous, and I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. So that kind of leads me into the tips that I kind of brainstormed what I try to do to help myself, at least in the days leading up to. Maybe not in the presentation itself. I have one tip that I kind of try to do, but regardless, for me, I'm always anxious, no matter what. I will never be comfortable. I'll never be a good public speaker. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Like, I don't feel like I have to, in my career or in my life, be good at it. And it's honest, I mean, a lot of you have issues with it, and I think it's something that happens to a lot of people, and they may get discouraged if people are like, just do it and you'll get better at it. Because honestly, we don't want to do it at all. That's the point. And I'm sure some would argue, well, you have to force yourself to do it because then you'll get better at it. But we don't want to do that either. So anyway, I was taking notes of my brain in class, which is what you do, right? Okay, so the first tip that I have is before the presentation, not like right before, allow yourself to feel all the nerves. Don't try to like stop yourself from feeling anxious, because usually that doesn't work. You know, like self-talk. I mean, I do some self-talk, as in like, think about tonight, like by the end of the day, you're gonna be done with this, it's in the past. And then I try to think of past public speaking moments that I've had. No one remembers them, like honestly. And ultimately no one cares, like no one at all. No one's thinking about my presentation I just did this last Wednesday. So you kind of can think of yourself as this little small ant on this world, and the public speaking day is not gonna ruin your life, and it's not the end of the world. That doesn't help me personally, but sometimes I allow myself to just feel nervous, like just allow yourself to feel it fully, and just like embrace it, because what else are you gonna do? Like try and push it down and like force it away? It's probably not gonna happen. Another thing that I recommend doing is something that I only recently started to do, is if you know you have a presentation in that class, usually the teachers will tell you in advance when they go over the syllabus in the beginning of the semester. If you know you have a presentation, try to raise your hand and speak at least one time that's not during the presentation. I don't know why this helps me, but if they've already heard my voice and I've done that competently, I feel like they know me. It sounds really bizarre. I don't even know how to explain it and how it works. But if I'm like known as the quiet one, then I feel like that amplifies my nerves, because I've never spoken in that class. And I don't mean like you have to find a friend, although that does help too. If you like talk to someone in your class, if you know someone, it is a lot easier. But just try to raise your hand, answer a question, ask a question, just something. Add some commentary, at least once. I know I have issues raising my hand. Only recently have I become more confident in that. I don't know why this works, but it just does. So try to just raise your hand, answer a question at least once. And the last thing I have to say, I know I'm full of the tips. There's only 3. But this one has to do with while you're up there. What I like to think about is I pick out one person in the audience, maybe that I'm intimidated by, or just like a random person, I don't know. Just pick that one person out and say, if you were just speaking to them as you're like giving your presentation, if you were just talking to that one person, would you be as nervous? Because usually it's the multitude of like people, just like a billion people. So sometimes just picking out one person and pretending that you're talking to them only, or just like asking yourself, you wouldn't be that nervous if you're talking to that person. And you can actually change people and then do it for the whole class, because I can guarantee you, if you were just talking one-on-one with every single person in that class, they wouldn't care, you wouldn't be as nervous, you'd probably be very competent at it. So just try to think of it and break down the audience a little bit. Instead of thinking it as a whole group, try to just narrow it down to a few people. Like if you were talking to these 3 people alone, like doing this presentation for these 3 people, would you be as scared? Or what I've seen some people do is they only look at the teacher, and so they pretend that they're just talking to the teacher, and that helps them. So I hope this video is not too discouraging, because I want you guys to, not be as nervous, but I think that some people are just not good at it, and I think that's okay. We're just not those good public speakers, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think another thing to remember is a lot of people hate public speaking, so usually they'll be very forgiving. I know when I see someone who's really nervous up in front of me, I want to tell them like, it's okay, like we're not judging you, like I totally understand your pain. So I just try to pretend that other people are thinking that for me when I sound really nervous, because my voice shakes and I can't breathe. So hopefully they're thinking the same thing, instead of like, oh god, this girl is embarrassing. But I hope these tips help in some way, or this video helps you feel less alone in the fact that these other kind of videos, or like other advice that people give, doesn't work. Like the more you do it, the better you get. Not always. Leave your public speaking tips down below. I'd love to hear if you have any special kind of techniques that's like odd advice and not the usual, down below to help us all. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave some video requests down below for future No Makeup Mondays, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.